overcast day in the Irish Hills of Michigan as Fox Sports welcomes you to Michigan International Speedway today for the running of the Sirius XM 400. The weather here, it could be better. Matter of fact, it would be better if all the clouds were gone. That's right. There is a 54% chance of rain later today. As of right now, they've pushed the start up from 12:53 p.m. Eastern up to approximately 30 minutes from now. Because if we look to the skies right now, turns 1 has very dark clouds, which behind them are going to bring some pretty heavy rain showers. In fact, it's just been a wet weekend at Michigan in general. In fact, qualifying actually got canceled for the first time in Ihop history. So this means last week's winner at Brighton, Jacob Tube, is going to lead the field of 34 to green with teammate Hunter Miller to his outside. Meanwhile, since we're partially in a hurry-up pattern, let's take a look at our starting lineup. Throughout the summer races until we get to Darlington, Mountain Dew will be at almost all the tracks this season, where you can either vote on Baja Blast or Pitch Black. Both cars will run here, Daytona, Pocono, Portland, with the winner being decided at the midnight before Darlington. And though with all the Mountain Dew cars being able to run that day for the Mountain Dew Decision 500. Anyways, speaking of Mountain Dew, here's our starting lineup presented by Mountain Dew Baja Blast. In row 1, we have the Mountain Dew Baja Blast Chevrolet and the Mountain Dew Pitch Black Chevrolet. Row 2 finds the FedEx Express Toyota and the Haas AutoNation Chevrolet. Row 3 finds the Autotrader.com Ford and the Aris Internet Modems Toyota. Row 4 finds the Busch Beer Chevrolet and the Diet Mountain Dew Chevrolet. Row number 5 brings us the M&M's 75th Anniversary Toyota and the 22 Pennzoil Ford. Row number 6 brings the Bass Pro Shops NRA Chevrolet and the Lowe's Chevrolet. Row 7 brings the Target Chevrolet and the Furniture Row Chevrolet. Row 8 brings us the Dollar General Toyota and the Nature's Bakery Chevrolet. Row number 9 finds the Mac Tonight Chevrolet and the Zest Ford. While we're scrolling through the rest of the field, let's take a look at see if we can mic up points leader and pole sitter Jacob Tube. Hey Jacob Tube, this is Larry McReynolds up in the Fox booth. You got us? You got us, bud? Yeah. Hey Jake, one more time. This is Jacob Tube. This is Larry McReynolds up in the Fox booth. You got us? Switch to channel 2. Switch to channel 2, bud. Yeah. Yeah, Larry, I got you. So how's it feel, man? You're the hottest guy in NASCAR, and you guy in this series right now. And here's the best part: you didn't have to qualify for the race. Mother Nature determined the starting position. How does this feel with the new tire that Goodyear brought today and what it's going to bring to the racing? It's going to be definitely going to be a Michigan we haven't seen before. It's going to be a lot of tire conserving. A lot of guys are going to be running 2 distinct grooves. We saw a lot of guys either running the bottom or the top. Even though there's still going to be a little bit of 2, 3, and 4 wide racing on the track, there's going to be mostly up front out in clean air. Whoever can save their tires will be either top or bottom or middle, because the top, as we saw in practice, is a good way to spin your car around, like what the 14 did. Anyways, our Mountain Dew Chevrolet is pretty good. Hope y'all vote for Baja Blast later this year. And hopefully we can capture another win. And hopefully this rain holds out, because this has potential to be a good race. Alright. Good luck down there, man. Thanks. As we look at our 6 HD onboard cameras for this race, presented by Mountain Dew Decision 2017. Jacob Tube has the Mountain Dew on board today. Hunter Miller has the Quicken Loans on board. Dylan Murway has the Bush Beer on board today. KFC Cup Sirius has the Ihop on board. These are all done in pure HD. Robert Smith has the Auto Trader on board. He'd love to get a win. And Nate Sherman has the Lowe's Pro Services on board this afternoon. Sellout crowd. They've stuck out the wet weather today at Michigan. They're going to be greeted with some of the best racing in NASCAR. Rain's imminent, boys. Go hard, but be safe. Green flag's in the air. Hendrick teammate's going to lead him down. Boogity, boogity, boogity. Let's go racing in the Motor City, boys. Wow, Jacob 2 with a heck of a start coming down out of turn 1. Saw the 2 drifting back. I think he may or may not. Probably didn't really get a good start all that well compared to everybody else. And speaking of Sports Center Cup Series, he's one of the drivers who hasn't won at all this season. He's looking for the lead coming off turn 2, but the question is, who's going to help him? He does have his teammate, the 19. It is going to push him. Well, going to try to at least. But right now, Jacob Tube is the man out front. And he's gotten us some clean air. Lap number 1 will go to the 24. Guys, I think the 2 is having problems. Dick. Robert Smith got on the radio and told it, buddy, I feel like I'm losing really bad oil pressure, guys. It's not good. I feel like I'm losing oil pressure. They're just going to say, keep it low, keep it low. If it grenades, let us know. Keep it out of the way. Get out of the way. Stay out of the way. Meanwhile, we got a change for a lead going down into 3. That is Sports Center Cup Series in the 11, bringing Caleb Hoffman with him. And his car round on the bottom. That down in 3. That is the 2. Caution flag is out. Oh, it just went out. He was running in the 18th position, trying to fight Alvin Alonso for 17th. Alright, early caution here at Michigan. Robert Smith, his afternoon cut short due to oil pressure, or lack thereof. Meantime, if we look to the skies right now, it's not pretty. Safe to say that this band of storms could put us in a bit of a delay. We have lap 3 put on the board. We're going to restart on lap 4. And if you look, especially on restarts like this, where they're going to be going like a bat out of hell, what do you do, honestly? Do you try to go for it, or do you just lean back and let it take care of itself and sort each other out? So with rain coming, and it looks to be quite the shower too. And, as we're getting ready for the restart, you look to the radar of the crew chief of the 11 here, Mike Wheeler. The weather here, it's not pretty. The next band of showers that's going to come, they're rumoring they're going to hold off the start because of lightning in the area. One caution is out for Robert Smith losing oil pressure and stalling out down on pit road. He is behind the wall. All right, now put him down pit road, gang. Put him down pit road. And just like that, they're going to bring the drivers down because rain is on. Look at the onboard of the 24. Rain is on the windshield of these drivers. It's going to come down pretty hard here. As they bring the cars down, in the normal format, they bring them down in rain delays. Just like earlier this year in Atlanta, they're going to bring them down side by side. They changed it up because originally they'd put positions 1 through 16 on the inside and then 17 through 33 on the outside. That was changed up after Atlanta. As all the cars get brought down pit lane, Robert Smith's crew is being told they cannot work on their car during this red flag here. As drivers are being told to get out of their cars and seek shelter immediately because this storm is going to be quite the doozy. 4 of 14 laps complete technically. We've just brought the cars down pit road. The red flag is out here at Michigan because there's a huge storm cell moving into the area, and it could probably put us out for a little while. As you look to the front stretch, it's basically becoming Noah's Ark right now. Sports Center Cup Series, he is your current race leader. After 3 laps, there's 1 caution for Robert Smith losing oil pressure and stalling out coming off turn 4. Basically, he didn't stall out like on the apron. He stalled off kind of in between like the racing groove and the apron, which is why they had to call the caution. Robert Smith's day is done. Unfortunately, he will have the day end and with him in last. Hopefully, as we wait things out here at Michigan, we do like to remind you that next Sunday we head down to Kansas Speedway for the running of the STP 400. Coverage will begin at 12:30 p.m. Eastern on FX, and then the STP 400 live from Kansas, presented by Hollywood Casino. And we also like to remind you that we're actually getting near the end of our fourth season here with NASCAR on Ihop Cup Series competition on Fox. And there are some rumored changes for 2017. They're looking to allow more morning warm-up sessions, and those are completely optional. You don't have to take them if you don't want to for all the races this year. And they're also looking at some interesting changes to the Daytona 500 qualifying format, where they're going to look at how the IndyCar guys do it. Guys, I want your thoughts. Personally, changes like that, they could be interesting, but leave them out of the Daytona 500. Honestly, all it really is, it just brings too much gimmicks. I mean, looking when they tried group qualifying in the 500 in 2015, tore up a bunch of cars, and who's to say it's not going to tear up a bunch of cars there? I mean, but at the same time, if it's single car qualifying, just like in the Indy 500, it's going to create a lot of excitement and intensity for whoever's going to last. But at the same time, what about the duels? The duels are probably going to be scrapped in favor of that, because Indy 500 qualifying typically takes most of the week before the race. And they're also looking at what sort of a pit stop competition as well, to kind of put a little bit of prestige back into the Daytona 500. And they're also, another potential rumor is Road Atlanta next year may be going to doubleheader racing, with one race on Saturday and one race on Sunday. But the question is, do you make them both points? Do you make the teams very expendable cars? I mean, what do you do? If you're anybody up in, as a fan, you think it's cool because more chances to see more races on the road course, on some road racing. But at the same time, road races in this series are often very brutal. Look at last week at Brighton, only 24 guys finished, and 20 of them finished without damage. Even Jacob Tube himself said at Brighton, road races sometimes getting out of control, especially with some of the crashing we had last week. With all the carnage we saw late. As yeah, they're looking at a lot of interesting changes to shake things up next year. All I know is Ihop's not going to copy Monster. In fact, regarding the rain delay, they've actually now put out a warning for the National Weather Service. They've issued a severe thunderstorm warning, and it isn't a watch, it's a warning. Basically, a watch is the chances of a severe thunderstorm coming through the area here are pretty high. But if a warning basically means conditions are ripe enough for a severe thunderstorm, which is why most of our cameramen on pit road have moved to a safe location with their electronics, because water plus electronics, no bueno. No bueno. And that's why you're seeing a lot of still shots of like cameras, still shots around the speedway, and it's almost black outside, where it's kind of the point the Air Titans, they're trying to dry so much, but if we look at the radar there, it's just a constant stream of rain. So what do you do as a race fan? Do you wait it out, or wait out the rain? Do you go to your car or RV to seek shelter, or what do you do? Right now, what you do if you're a driver, you're obviously taking shelter in your trailers right now because it's a safe spot. And there are rumors that if we don't get this race dry, in fact, the next available spot would be about that we could get some racing in would be about 5 p.m. locally here at Michigan. However, at that point, it takes about a good 50 minutes to an hour to drive this track. There isn't a whole lot of daylight here left. It's light here till approximately 8 o'clock, and a little past that. But do you run to the sun, run to darkness? At this point, with however long it takes to hypothetically drive the racetrack, you're just eating away at time left in the day. Now, unlike Atlanta earlier this year, where we have had lights and tried finishing the rest of the race under the lights, but what do you do at this point? Anyways, if NASCAR cannot get this track dried by a decent hour to get the track dried and the rest of the Sirius XM 400 to its conclusion later today, they will move the remainder of the race to Monday, and it can be seen at 11 a.m. Eastern on FX. And also, kind of a rule, another thing I want to address too, is if you're NASCAR and you have a situation like this where it's just nothing but rain for most of the day, you want to drive the racetrack as much as you can, Mike. These fans came to see a race, not an air Titan parade, so I mean, what do you got to do what you got to do sometimes. If you got to drive the track, I mean, if it's best interest of the fans, a lot of the fans here have to work Monday. No, NASCAR doesn't want to postpone races to Monday often. I mean, they have a few races slated on Fridays, but with the exception of Road Atlanta this year and Bowman Gray, but that got moved to Saturday. Most of them are night races. So, yeah. NASCAR, we just see if we can go down pit road here with where Dylan Murway is actually being phoned in the Hollywood Hotel with Chris Myers and Michael Waltrip. Alright guys, sitting here with Dylan Murway running in the 8th position today. Do you think this rain is enough information to feel out what this tire can do? Honestly, Chris, I'm kind of not really a fan. If you have, it's one of those tires where you kind of need to get a run on somebody, but at the same time our setup was relatively tight in the only practice session we had here on Saturday, but hopefully if we can get going again, our Busch Beer Chevrolet has a good car. We could get it to the front, hunt quickly. I mean, we got 5 Chevrolets in the top 10 on the restart, and a lot of these times, a lot of people are giving people in front of the leaders good shoves on restarts. And that's how people won Michigan, and that's how Caleb Hoffman won California, because he got a good push. And I tried doing that to the one, but he basically got spun. I didn't want to do that. So, let's look at this. I had to seek shelter in my RV today, but next thing you know, I'm being told go down to the Hollywood Hotel. I'm like, oh god. Next thing you know, I'm soaked. So you guys got a freaking towel to dry me off, guys. Oh my god. Look at me. I'm like, my undershirt is just soaked right now. Yeah, our Busch Chevrolet is pretty good today. Hopefully we'll get this race going again. If not, we'll finish it out on Monday. And you can send upstairs to the Hollywood to the boys in the booth, Mike Joy, Darrell Waltrip, and Larry McReynolds. Thanks, guys. NASCAR and David Hoots have just radioed to us through our headsets that NASCAR has lost the track today at Michigan, and the conclusion of the Sirius XM 400 can be seen tomorrow, 11 a.m. Eastern on FX. Much better conditions. There's actually a possibility that sun will come out Yeah, no, sun this weekend at Michigan. It's quite a mind-blowing concept. I mean, it's going to be a little overcast in the morning, but however, it's rumored to clear out. There's going to be a slight chance of rain later in the day, but it's a slight mist. They can just, ride it out under yellow until they dry it out. So at this point, you see all the cars being pushed back to the garage through some severe weather, and Air Titans did make a valiant effort down in 1 and 2s, sort of starting to get gray. However, rain came to this track and in very copious amounts. So at this point, you got to get the cars to the garage, get them in a safe building, in a safe space, if you will, and then just clean off the radios, and hopefully get this race going to its scheduled distance tomorrow. Sports Center Cup Series is your current leader after 3 of 14 laps.